a very memorable year for video games. Now, I've already covered the worst of the bunch. Now I'm here to cover the very best out there. Now, I'm only talking about full games, so no demos or early access titles and stuff like that. However, indie games are fair game. So here are the top 10 best games of 2017.
Ever wonder what Silent Hills would have looked like if it had not been canceled? Well, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is pretty much the answer. This is one of the scariest games I have played in a long time, and for a good reason. You have something beyond just plain old cheap jump scares. You have a deranged, scary family in a creepy mansion trying to make your way out. It really provides through the experience of how a good horror game should play. And here is something very good to come from Steam. Immortal Redneck is a first-person shooter in ancient Egypt. So I like the idea where you get to play as a time-traveling redneck shooting a bunch of monsters in a pyramid in ancient Egypt and always coming back as if nothing ever happened. And the good thing is that you can always save up on power-ups that you missed and always come back to those same dungeons that you missed out on and kill the same enemies. I'm surprised this game has not gotten more attention by now.
Fuck just way to start. Well, better buckle up, partner, because that ain't nothing.
Now, Neo has the same kind of challenge as Dark Souls, but with the same kind of atmosphere that I see in the way of the samurai games. This is a fun and addicting game where you get to slash up enemies in feudal Japan, with the same punishing difficulty as Dark Souls. The atmosphere has excellent ambiance and very beautiful environments. Now, I've said this before in my last entry. I love games that give me a decent challenge. And what better game to do this with a punishing, sadistic difficulty as Cuphead? Cuphead has that very charming art style of classic cartoons from the 30s and 40s, and you play as this cute, adorable character that's basically a mix between Mickey Mouse and Felix the Cat. Yeah, even though it's very easy to get yourself killed over and over again by being distracted by the stunning animation that these developers have put work into it. But guess what? They always repeat the same pattern, so it's basically a learning curve through trial and error, while using your own memory. And you can always have a friend help out, clear some of the most difficult areas, and slap each other in the face for dying on the level and getting yourself killed. Having to restart back to the beginning again, Cuphead really is a cup of tea. Now, this is one of the best hack and slash role-playing games I have played in a long time. Nier Automata is actually one of those games that has a very deep story added to it as well, in a very classic Square Enix fashion. It adds the story adds more to the universe of the last game, which I really missed out on. There's a lot to discover behind the character's backstory and the world, as well as learning new skills and beating the hell out of a bunch of enemies. Now, who wants that? Now, imagine a vast open world where machines have taken over. Horizon Zero Dawn reminds me so much of the new Tomb Raider games. The games in the new Tomb Raider series. You get to unlock the mysteries of the old civilized world as they once were before its downfall, while killing robots and that have gone rogue and salvaging their parts for more upgrades, which give off better weapons. And the story has a very deep narrative on how she was an outcast. It's a story of acceptance and survival. You'll love it. I have been waiting for this for a long time. A decent Persona game. And what I have it. It's awesome. Persona 5 has that lost touch of anime art style and gameplay that a lot of games lack nowadays. It reminds me a lot of the older Tales games. I love the backstories that many of the characters have in the high school settings, taking on different personas, as with many other of the Persona games. I mean, this is a turn-based RPG I've been longing for in a long time that many publishers have abandoned.
Yeah! Victory!
Now, my first entry into the Assassin's Creed series was on a high note because, for one, I love ancient Egypt and the setting and everything, and two, it bears a very resemblance to its parent franchise, Prince of Persia. And you also get to take on a bunch of new missions that'll get you a bunch of rewards and look all badass and everything. The whole game is like a cinematic experience that you rarely get in video games. One of those kind of action-adventure genres that I really miss out on a lot. And it's really worth the price of admission alone. So, I may look to see what other kind of setting Assassin's Creed's going to go for next time. Duh. Now, before I get to my top pick, I would like to list the most anticipated video games I have for 2018. I've gone on to believe that Ocarina of Time cannot be topped, but I think this new entry into the Zelda series gives Ocarina a run for its money. I don't know how to compare, it's so good. I mean, it really updates how games should be in this expansive open world where you can combine realism with many of the traditional Zelda gameplay mechanic. I like how you can actually craft items and actually cook your own meals to heal up and stuff and give yourself boosts. And it has the same story-driven narrative that's iconic to the Zelda franchise, making this the #1 pick for my top game of 2017.
Now we're ending the year on a high note. As good as this year was, hopefully 2018 will bring in really even better titles out that I really look forward to. And if you haven't picked any of my picks for this year up, it's definitely worth it. This is Mario Nama, signing off. Thanks for watching. I really hope you liked this video. If you want to check out more from Mario Nama, please hit the subscribe button below, or go to my website at www.marliomedia.com. And if you really like the content, be sure to support me on Patreon or follow me on Twitch TV. And as always, sign on.